Hello all. So in this quick video, we'll try to discuss the first essay which was asked in the essay paper of Civil Service Mains 2023. So the first topic was thinking is like a game. It does not begin until there is an opposite team. So just look at the topic. PSC has asked such thought-provoking topics time and again. Especially the trend is on the rise in recent times. So this topic, thinking is like a game, right? It does not begin until there is an opposite team. So thinking is compared to a game. So let us try to quickly run through the write-up which I have with me. I have used certain AI-based tools to come up with this write-up. So again, it's not any standard template to write in the examination, but it just forces us to think and prepare and have such a comprehensive thought process running as a part of the preparation towards the topic. And in general, this topic is relevant for exam as well as even in the broader life also, right? So thinking is like a game. It does not begin until there is an opposite team. So a simple introduction and a template can be like, in the realm of human cognition, thinking is often linked to a game. So we will just build up the argument that thinking is often compared to a game, right? It's a game in the sense it's a mental game. It's a mental contest that unfolds within the intricate arenas of our mind. So this analogy can be seen as more than a mere metaphor. This is not a mere metaphor, right? It's more than a metaphor. So it encapsulates the essence of human thought process, right? So encapsulating the challenges, complexities, and creative dynamics that are integral to our intellectual endeavors. So broadly opening up the topic with such key terms, and then just as a gameness. So we're just comparing what are the commonalities between a game and thought process, right? So you just give a small analogy that a game necessitates opposite teams to give rise to strategy, competition, innovation, and thinking, right? Thinking to thrives in an environment characterized by opposing ideas. So when we compare it to a game, we tell that in any game, to win the game, right? It can be any game. So we need a strategy for it. We need to have a competitors to give us that urge to be first better, improve myself better, and also better than the others, and also innovation. So thinking to also thrives in an environment which is characterized by opposing ideas, perspectives, and paradigms. So in this essay, we will delve into the deep, profound analogy, exploring the notion that thinking is like a game and understanding how it does not truly commence until there is an opposite team. So till there is that opposite stimulus to the brain, so the thinking does not initiate. So that's what the simple introduction is trying to give. So it's just trying to compare and uh, tell that how thinking is like a game, right? So a simple introduction. Now coming to the body, we can open up the nature of thinking itself, right? So before we delve into the analogy itself, it's essential to comprehend the fundamental nature of thinking, right? What is the fundamental nature of thinking? So human thought is a faceted process that involves perception, reflection, analysis, and creativity and problem solving, right? So we have to perceive certain piece of information, we have to reflect upon it, analyze it, and then ultimately that's a cyclical process which the human thought process is involved in a day-to-day basis, right? So it is the foundation of all human achievements, scientific breakthroughs, uh, from scientific breakthroughs through artistic masterpieces. It can be anything, right? So what differentiates humans from animals, apart from the four basic instincts, right? Animals also do eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, right? Apart from that, it is the thinking activity which with through the evolved brain which humans have, differentiates animals from humans, right? So it's not a solitary activity in one sense. It is profoundly influenced by the surroundings. So when we're telling that it's not solitary activity, we are in a way hitting to the topic of the question that it needs an opposite team. So it is profoundly influenced by surrounding intellectual landscape, much like a game is shaped by the presence of an opposite team. Again, we're always arguments here are made in such a way that it is hitting to the core essence of the topic, that is thinking and the game, right? And then this is the first talking about the nature of thinking. Second is the birth of ideas through opposition. So thinking often begins with a question, right? Or a problem that requires some kind of solution, right? So till we don't ask, or till we don't question anything, we don't get the solutions, right? So we have to question, then we get a solution. So it may be any, you may file an RT application, or a child which is very curious asking questions. So that's the basic origin point of seeking answers. So in the same sense, this can be linked to the formation of opposing teams in a game. So the question or problem sets the stage, creating the initial tension, right, that propels the intellectual game forward. So till there is no question, till there is no opposing view, so I don't really create that tension. For instance, the realm of science, the debate between geocentrism, and so this is the one example which can be given for any argument, right? Geocentrism and heliocentrism was there in the 16th century, so which led to the formation of new theories, right? For example, the opposition between the two worldviews acted as a catalyst for Copernicus, Kepler, and Galileo to develop the foundations for modern astronomy, right? So any such example can be given, right? So through the birth of new ideas, how does it happen? Through opposition, through questioning the existing practices. So you can give any example. This is just one example. So like this, you can connect to many examples, right? For example, you can also connect the thought process of in the ancient history, or in the ancient cultural religious history of India. You can always give an example of Buddha. Buddha came and questioned the complex practices and wanted to simplify the religious rituals which were happening at that time. So the rituals were mere rituals. They had lost the spirit behind the activity. So Buddha came with a simplistic view on religion, and that is how he attracted many individuals. So it is as simple as that. You question the existing realm, and then you come out with the new a set of principles. So this is one piece of idea. Second is diverse perspectives also fuel intellectual progress. Like for example, just as opposing teams brings diverse skills, strategies, and tactics to a game, so diverse perspectives and viewpoints are essential for intellectual progress. So without diverse viewpoints, one cannot flourish, right? So when thinkers engage with an opposite team of ideas, they are forced to critically evaluate their own beliefs and assumptions. We all have our own biases, our own comfort zones, right? So how can we come out of that? Only when we have stimulus or inputs from diverse areas, right? So this process of intellectual confrontation often results in refinement and improvement of ideas. This is very crucial, that we always have to improve our own understanding. So an excellent example of this is the dialectical method employed by philosophers like Socrates, right? So through rigorous questioning and debate, Socrates sought to uncover the truth and enhance the quality of his own and his interlocutor's thought process. So it is just that debate. It's called samvad. Actually, in Indian culture, it's called samvad. So where people sit and discuss and come out with diverse perspectives. So it's not vivad, it is samvad. That's a simple Indian analogy for this. And then competition spurs, innovation. So as we discussed that in a game, the common point is competition, strategy, competition. So competition. So in order to compete and win, we need to be more creative. We need to be more innovative than the opponent. So that is this point, that in both games and thinking, competition plays a vital role in spurring innovation. So when there is an opposite team, there's a drive to outperform and outthink the opposition. So this competitive spirit has led to one of the greatest advancements in human history. Of late, we have just seen how ISRO became the first space institution to land on the south pole of the moon, right? So consider the space war which happened during the Cold War. So there is this rivalry between US and Soviet Union. It fueled the rapid advancement in space exploration technology, leading to historic moon landing in 1969. So the presence of an opposite team in this case was a catalyst, right? In order to get that extra edge in the overall geopolitical landscape, this was done. So whatever may be the context, but it was a competition which spurred the innovation here, forcing Soviet Union to explore more technologies to gain the technological edge, right? That is one aspect of it. And then comes the part of role of critical thinking, right? So critical thinking is the cornerstone of intellectual development. So especially relevant in this analogy, because just as a chess player must critically evaluate each move, to anticipate the opponent's strategy, critical thinking requires innovative individuals to assess arguments, evidence, and information rigorously, right? Whatever comes as any stimulus, maybe arguments, evidence, information, it has to be analyzed rigorously. So, in a world filled with diverse and often conflicting viewpoints, critical thinking is a tool that allows us to navigate complex intellectual landscape effectively without opposing teams of thought. Critical thinking would lack its primary impetus. So that's how whatever comes as a stimulus, I need to be very critical in terms of analyzing the diverse and conflicting viewpoints coming to, right? So this is one aspect of critical thinking. It's also a part of a game, right? Just how as a game requires his thought process, we must also be critical in a thought process, right? And then paradigm shifts and scientific revolutions. Again, another example can be given how revolutions happen through thought processes, right? The history of science is replete with examples of paradigm shifts and scientific revolutions that illustrate the profound impact of opposing themes of thought. So one of the most famous instances is the shift from the Newtonian mechanics to Einstein's theory of relativity. Again, one more science-based example. So the Newtonian physics held sway for centuries, but it was the challenges posed by experimental evidence and theoretical inconsistencies that led Einstein to develop his groundbreaking ideas. So again, there was some gaps. So some thing which Einstein found was lacking in that. So after his thought process, a new revolution came out. So that's what there is an established paradigm. How do you move to a new paradigm? By questioning on the existing paradigm. So that is why thinking plays a critical role. That's what we just discussed. And then not only restricted to the major domains, but also related to the ethical and moral dilemmas. So thinking is not limited to the realms of science and philosophy. It extends into ethical and moral considerations. So in ethical debates, opposing teams often represent conflicting values and principles. So the ongoing debate surrounding issues such as we often discuss these issues in the social sphere, right? So euthanasia is happening, abortions, so the ethics of artificial intelligence, etc. So whether that will replace jobs, or such debates will keep on taking place in this society. So how thinking has is a core component of these dilemmas, right? So these debates, they force individuals and societies to grapple with opposing viewpoints. So there's always an opposing viewpoint here, to do this or to do that, right? So to do it or not to do it. So these debates they get into some deep reflection, and then after consideration of both viewpoints, a certain right way of doing it emerges, right? There's no right and wrong in this, but it forces us to think, evaluate all the viewpoints. So that's how the opposing ideas come about, and that's how it is linked to the game aspect. And then in today's age, like in the digital age and the echo chamber challenge, so I think this we have heard of an echo chamber where we are fed into the news, or we come across news items which we have set of beliefs and biases which we keep repeatedly hearing or seeing. Only such piece of information we keep hearing, right? It can be a YouTube feed or Instagram a reel, anything of sort. Whatever you see, you keep seeing the same thing, right? So in the digital age, the ease of connecting with the like-minded individuals through social media and online communities has led to concerns about the emergence of echo chambers. So an echo chamber is a situation where individuals are only exposed to information and opinions that align with their existing beliefs, and effectively eliminating opposing themes of thoughts. So this phenomenon threatens the richness and the diversity of intellectual discourse, hindering the growth of ideas. Again, a very relevant argument in today's times, which can affect the thought process, right? Because if you are in an echo chamber, you're basically cut off from the ideas, right? So which are essential for you to think from multiple viewpoints, because truth has multiple corners. So just like we say Anekantavada philosophy in Jainism, so truth has many corners. So an intellectual mind will look for multiple corners, but an echo chamber mind will only be seeing the one corner of the truth, one perspective of the truth, you can say. So a simple conclusion can be, right, thinking is like a game, and it does not begin until there is an opposing team, offers profound insights into nature of human cognition and intellectual process. Just as a game relies on opposing teams to create competition, strategy, and innovation, thinking thrives in an environment where diverse ideas, perspectives, and paradigms clash and compete. So this interplay of opposing teams births new ideas, resulting into sharpening of critical thinking and fuels intellectual progress. So looking ahead to the future, it is essential to recognize the importance of fostering diverse and inclusive intellectual spaces, right? So embracing opposite teams of thought, encouraging respectful debate is crucial for addressing the complex challenges of our times. For example, climate change to social justice, right? You can give some relevant examples. And then in an era where echo chambers threaten to stifle the intellectual growth, we must actively seek out opposing viewpoints. So why it's necessary to actually seek out the opposing viewpoint, right? So engage in constructive dialogue and continue to play the game of thinking with vigor and intellectual curiosity. So by doing so, we can hope to chart a course towards a brighter and more intellectually vibrant future, where the game of thinking never ceases to evolve and flourish. So till there is, you can say, till there is no game of thinking, humans cannot evolve. So that's how the mankind has evolved and continues to evolve and continues to keep solving the problems which comes by. So that's how humans are different from the animals. You can say that's why we are flourishing. So that's it. This was the simple framework. Again, this is not a template where you can write essay, but one broad thought process how we can go about writing this essay. So I'll just attach the document also in the comment section. I'll just in the same process we'll just discuss all the topics also. And mind you, this UPSC topics are not relevant only from the exam perspective, but in our overall life also. So I hope this was short and informative and helpful. Thank you.